I guess we will start the meeting and call it to order at 3:39. So I'm sure we all reviewed the agenda.
I did.
And I'm asking if anyone's here has any declarations of conflict. Seeing none, we'll move on to the fourth order of business. Adoption of the previous minutes. Also move that we adopt the minutes, seconded by Paula. Councillor Summers, that we accept the minutes of the last regular meeting. Did you have any business? Did anyone have any business arising from that meeting?
No, I didn't see anything on there.
Okay, seeing none. We'll move down to public presentations. There isn't any. And we'll move now to the seventh order of business, administrative reports 7.1, and maybe the facility director may want to jump in right now.
Sure. So just to do a high level summary, because we have really incredible, massive projects all on the go at the same time. But what I'll do is give you the layman's terms updates for everything. So it's easy if you're speaking to constituents versus the lingo that's in a report. So number one, the downtown waterfront is ahead of schedule. It looks gorgeous. We launched our memorial bench program on Tuesday and sold 2 benches in the first day. It's exciting. And it's really cool seeing the construction workers even pumped about it and noticing the difference, and they're enjoying the fruits of their labor. It is a hot day, and when you're seeing people smiling, spreading topsoil, getting ready for seed, because they're seeing those finishing touches really make the area, or making the area pop, it's good. So there are some complications, like everything with our projects. We can only plan for what we know. And then as we start digging, we find little rat's nests here and there, but we're working through them. And we're solving as many additional problems, such as fixing culverts, manholes, dealing with those kinds of infrastructure issues that will ultimately be a problem for us. So Beamish has been really great at reaching out to Public Works, and Al's been visiting the site frequently. So whenever we can be piggybacking on that labor and provide the material and get it solved at the same time, it's going to prevent future failure and interruption for the public, and especially on the east side for those merchants, because we don't want to have to go back there with heavy equipment later on. So it is progressing quite well. They've set up a little temporary break wall. It's cement, so they can attach the turbidity curtain. Also allows the boat launch to be used behind Town Hall, especially heading into the long weekend. And they're also aware of the launch behind Eckett, so they can encourage people to get on the river at either point. What else with that project? We're just working through one challenge, and that was the lighting. So we have 2 stock items, and we're just trying to find one that's not going to take forever and a day to arrive, but still look nice. But the project is still on schedule to be completed fully and reported on by September, which is huge. So our funders are quite thrilled with us. The Marine Park, we are going to have power on ADOC by the end of today. So the pedestals are in. Yes, our plumbing, some of the components were air shipped into Virginia this week, and will be in Montreal on Monday and then in Blind River on Tuesday. So we have water. So even though it's not directly at the slips, if somebody does need to fill up, they can scoot over to the shack or the kiosk, and we can load them up there. So it's not an issue. The feedback with the docks from the folks that have come in since last weekend, they went, wow, where are these from? And they're taking pictures and sending back to their marinas. So that's pretty cool. Our fuel inspection is today. Power got turned on yesterday to the main run. We have ice showing up on Friday. So it's all coming. Everybody's just been waiting, but we couldn't do much without power. We couldn't have any inspections completed. Our challenge at that property is cement. So JI is expecting the pour to be the 2nd week of July at this time. So what we've done is created a couple of makeshift ramps heading into the fuel docks so the staff are safe. And it's not a step from the riprap onto the ramps. They've attached little boards, so it's little smooth ramps for people going on and off. And I don't know, it almost looks like Paul is frozen. Oh,
There. Oh,
there we go. Okay.
okay,
Perfect.
sorry.
No, that's okay. So did you get the cement timeline?
Second week in July?
Second week of July, correct?
I
Yes.
did hear
And
that
it-
part, yep.
Yep, and it's all ready to go. We've also added on a little section where we had the cement poured where we moved the interlock 2 years ago. We've
Mhm.
extended the boardwalk to marry to that section. So then
Okay.
there's no unevenness between the interlock and the cement. It'll be a nice smooth walkway.
Oh, good, okay.
Yep, boats started going in last weekend and we are going to continue launching, keep working with people, and then we'll stock up ADOC. And as soon as B's powered, then if they're a BDOC client, then they will just move over there. That's all.
Okay, so it is open now?
Yep.
Okay. 'Cause
Yeah.
the last time I drove down there, it wasn't, so I'll have to take a look.
Yeah, so what we are doing at the end of the night, due to the increased vandalism and theft that's happening, is the gate is getting shut. And then our folks that are parked on the docks understand that it's just dummy locked, so they can scoot in and out. Yeah, especially with high winds, they can check their ties. Our playground rehab project, so that was another grant that included tennis and all of the playgrounds. All of our playground equipment, other than the stuff for Forest Glen, has arrived. And it's been put together. It's under lock and key at the arena. All of the footings require cement. So again, a little bit of a hiccup, but I'm just happy that we have it because some of the playground orders are back order for at least a year. So by some stroke of luck, we ended up getting our stuff. So that's very exciting. We're going through the exercise with Tulloch and Public Works, testing the, I'm going to call it the slab, but it's not. It's the aggregate that's underneath the asphalt at the tennis courts. We're not certain it was built correctly to begin with. So instead of just repaving over something and peeling it off, we want to see what's under there. Also, so we can tender it correctly, and then we don't have a contractor bid, peel the asphalt and then go, oh, you're missing at least 2 inches of X, Y, or Z, and then our cost goes through the roof. So we want to go into this with 2 wide open eyes. So more to come there, but we will be spamming social media as we install throughout the playgrounds, and we'll keep council updated on these too as we work through the challenges. I went through the marina. Cemetery, mainly a heads up for June that we're going to be bringing to the budget committee hydro seeding. So where the fence is, those markers, they look out of place and they're beautiful markers. And now that the fence has been improved, it would be great to have really lush green grass around them and really improve that space, especially since we've taken out the trees. So the rest of the cemetery will be finished. It's not a relatively high cost. We're looking at a couple $1,000s to have the appropriate professionals come from Sault Ste. Marie to do this. We've priced it out and it's going to work wonders on our long-term cemetery rehab plan. Town Park Ball Diamond. So we've essentially wrapped up our Trillium grant as far as the expenses go. I have a meeting with the executive the first week of July, I believe. And we're going to go through the budget that was spent. So if there's a few extra dollars here and there that we can get another bat or helmet or get some more balls for them to max out that funding, we'll just do one final purchase and then we can report on it. And we've officially completed a grant in 3 months, which we had 12 months to do. So that looks great for us too when we're reporting back to Trillium. You're also going to notice a really nice sign. The Town Park blue one that we did with the Blue Jays, it's kind of near the tennis courts and then the Ball Diamond. The other side, when you leave River Park, actually has Anishinaabemowin, English and French with the property and the explanation of what it is. So it's River Field, and then it's in English and French in that direct translation. And then the place by the river where you play in Anishinaabemowin, because it's the story. River Field doesn't make sense in Anishinaabemowin because you're land and water in one title. So we made sure to, again, work with Brian and John and get an accurate translation from Mississauga First Nation in Anishinaabemowin. So that's great. I will turn it over to Miss Ashley because she's got some great news for her pages, and then I can jump back on if that works with everybody.
Yeah, thanks, Karen. So we have had quite a bit going on here at the museum. We just finished up our Indigo Landscapes exhibit, which was very successful. That was with guest artist Sharon Hamlin. We saw many people coming from Elliott Lake, from Espanola, of course, our regular tourists as well. And the exhibit was over 80% sold, which I don't know if we've ever seen that. Out of 40 art pieces, 80% sold. So Sharon was really happy about that. She's an educator, so she jumped on the opportunity when W.C. Eckett wanted to bring their art class to the gallery. And she came in and she led a workshop with the art class earlier in June, which was really nice to see field trips again to the museum happening in person. We also had a visit from the grade 1-2 class from Blind River Public School this month. They actually came last week. They were given an activity in the museum and the gallery, and they finished their morning with a plein air art experience outside. So painting with easels, art smocks, outside on the grounds, looking at the beautiful scenery. And Diane Bode came in to volunteer her time to teach. So that was really fun. The wind was definitely an issue, but we were lucky that it was pretty calm when they started. Things picked up when they were leaving. And then they walked over to the skateboard park, and they kind of toured the mill yard a little bit too, and played and got their energy out, and they walked back to class. So that was a really great field trip, and the teachers were really happy that, again, they could venture out with the class and get away from the digital experience. We also had our first evening market about 2 weeks ago. We had about 10 vendors along with a barbecue that was brought to us by Maplegate from Elliott Lake. So that was a fun night. Our market was a good opportunity for us to begin promoting our Heritage Garden project that is taking place on our balcony. It's very beautiful and green and lush right now, and I was looking at the lettuce and it's ready to be picked. I noticed some people today just kind of wandering on the balcony and admiring the gardens. So if you get a chance, come check it out. It's very green and very beautiful. So we had some heirloom variety tomato plants for sale at the market. We also had our community seed library available for people to swap seeds. Today we are installing our summer art show and sale, which is a collective of 15 local artists. Out of the 15, we have 8 new artists coming. So some artists from Blind River who have not displayed in the gallery yet. It's a big show. There's a lot of artwork. The artists in this show will be on site August 11th, which is the date of our next evening market. So they'll be in the gallery to meet and mingle with people coming through and talk about their artwork. Our history displays in the museum have been quite popular in the last couple of weeks. We see a lot of tourists coming in, and we've enjoyed selling admission and touring visitors through the museum displays. 2 weeks ago, we had a group of researchers come from BC who were developing family law practices in response to Bill C-30, sorry, I probably have that confused, but they were looking for old photos and examples of Indigenous family culture. So I really did enjoy walking through, spending an hour with them, showing them the resources we had, and they were really pleased with the materials that we were allowed to share, and they were really pleased with the material that we're preserving in our history collection. So lastly, we're gearing up for our annual teddy bear picnic, which is next Thursday, July 7th from 11 to 2 p.m. We have many community partners joining us again. So we have a Goma Public Health Unit coming to talk about their CNP program. We also have the Ontario Fur Managers Federation, the library early on, and Michelle of the Oaks Yoga. So it should be a nice big event again. We have a DJ coming to play some music. We're going to offer hot dogs. The daycare's coming. I've also been receiving calls from like Sudbury numbers and Elliott Lake phone numbers asking when we're having the picnic. So I expect, if the weather's nice, it's going to be a busy day. So if you're in the neighborhood, come by and say hi.
I hope the weather is great for you, Ash.
I hope so too. It's not always the rain, it's this wind too that has been an issue, but I guess I'll take the wind over the rain any day. But yeah, I think that's all I have. I'm sure I've missed something, but
That's all.
that's all.
Fantastic.
And
All
just to highlight, before I jump back into our other facilities, Ashley was successful with a grant application this week for a 2-year position to work under her at the museum, working with digitization. So this has been 8 months of waiting, 6 months at least, and we just got the news. So that's been a lot of work to get this funding. So congratulations, Ashley.
Thank you.
Yes.
Great job.
Thank you.
We're doing something right, gang.
Mm. We're getting our name out there.
Yeah. So moving on to the travel center, little disappointing it's not open yet, but now we have doors installed. So it's a step in the right direction. We have new locks. The facility is coming together quite well, and we will have an update for council on the 11th. Workers have been in there. They were in on Sunday. I saw them in there again yesterday. I'm speculating, but what I believe is happening is the same challenges I'm seeing in other industries where it's one worker where they probably expected to have 3 or 4. So when you have a team to accomplish something, it goes quite quickly. And when you're a 1-person show, it's a challenge. But we will stay on them. We're still within the timeline of our funding. We're no issues there. And then council at our last meeting executed our agreement with NOHFC. So we received this funding last October, and that was the contract that you all approved at the last meeting. So just to put it in perspective, how behind some of these services are. And I'm sure if that door opens before July 11th, you're going to be getting a hurrah email from the clerk's department that we're ready to go. Community center asphalt went in yesterday. So our Olympia entrance, when we took council for a tour in the winter time, we showed where the ice resurfacer was dropping off when it left that back entrance. It's been corrected. So that's been a 10-year wait for staff that have brought it forward. We finally solved it. And the section in front of the staircase, if you do get a chance after you're done picking lettuce at Timber Village, head over to the arena and check it out. It looks awesome. Brand new wheelchair curb cut, nice and flat, safe, no more rickety stones. It looks good. So we will continue to try and find funding to get the rest of the apron done at the front. That would look really, really sharp. A couple of things for the community center. No secret, we had a pause due to the election, and then Premier Ford put his new ministers into place, divided some of his cabinets and responsibilities. So we have 2 large grants waiting for provincial approval right now for the community center, because not often can we apply for these things. So one is the ice resurfacer, which is using the existing funds and reserves. So then we can get a new ice resurfacer and be online with our asset management. The second one is the electrical panel existing budget. So nothing extra from the ratepayers, leveraging that to get the entire plant updated. I do not want to run into the hiccup that our neighbors have gone through, where we have to try and find a house for our hockey teams. We need to get ahead of this now. We know the panel was 38 years old. Our chiller, all of it, it's original. So we're hoping by leveraging this money, we can get the province to help us. And just to clarify for everybody, it would be a new chiller, includes the panel, both new compressors, as well as all of the rink boards. So it would be a huge overhaul for the community center. And then we can focus all of our efforts then on some of the bigger stuff. But at least we're calling it the project, the Heart of Blind River, because truly what we're trying to solve right now is keeping the heart going of our emergency center and our arena. And that's how we've approached the province. And then we're working to be as accessible as possible. We're strategizing a photo gallery at the back. So we're going to do our best. Last year, we were kind of embedding the pictures in with each location, but that's not meeting AODA specifications. So we're going to keep adding pictures to the back. So if you need to flip through at the end, you'll see them there. And we can't even put them side by side. They have to be stacked. So it's going to look a little bit differently than before, but at least we're getting the message across. Sellers. So again, I mentioned at the beginning, Paula, that we had a few things happen after this report was created. So we had the grand opening for Sellers Beach for B. Jensen.
I was
What
there.
okay, so what a beautiful sight to see that park filled
Yeah.
and smiling faces.
Mhm.
And if ever we had walking security cameras, I think we have 600 eyes that are going to be on that property watching out for anybody doing harm.
Yep.
It was very disappointing before the grand opening to have vandalism in the bathrooms. I will admit, having the graffiti, people scratching our signs, breaking the kids' change table off the wall, and that is lag bolted into the wall. So that took some time and effort to do. It's all been replaced. And we have the Director of Protective Services ordering cameras to install on the gazebo pointing toward the bathroom door. So at least we'll be able to have an account of who's going in and out without any worry of capturing anybody who's getting changed or anything like that. But we're at that point, what we have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I believe that's it in a nutshell, a very large it. But if anybody has questions, please go ahead.
Paul, I'm going to open it to you first if you have any questions.
No, just great work. Everything looks wonderful. I go by the graveyard many, many times. And it's pretty cool at night when you turn that corner and that your lights hit that fence. It's pretty amazing. It looks like a bunch of arrows. It's pretty cool. Very, very nice. Great job. And of course, the Sellers Park, that was a beautiful night. The weather was lovely and it was very nice. And it got the people out there, right? So the music by the lake, I think will do very well this year.
Yeah. Well, then that leaves me. So most of mine are basically seeking maybe some information. Are we over at the marina? I'll start with the marina area first. Are we having, and is there signage for, you know, how we were having campers come along, Karen, you know, and utilizing the spot overnight camping with their small vehicles?
So what kind of signage are you suggesting?
No, not suggesting. How does one know of this area and what time, you know, if they're camping there, are they able to utilize the washrooms? Is there someone there?
So we have staff scheduled until 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock?
Yeah. And when there's two ways this is going to be approached is the travel center is going to be our sister site for selling the camping passes, as well as the Marina Art Gallery Museum. Both Louisa and Ashley have designed cool little hangers that go on your rear view mirror, similarly to parking passes that go on. And when they purchase that, then they'll get the codes to the restrooms.
So if I'm coming down the highway and I went on the internet and Facebook, I mean, how do I know that this is available to me if I wanted to pull over at the marina?
So right now what we've been relying on, because we couldn't invest in actual specific marketing, would be the website. So our brmarinepark.ca, as well as word of mouth. So there's little blogs where people who stop and camp, who are cycling, and some little road warriors like the bowler crew and things like that, they'll post places they've stopped.
Yeah.
So we've noticed referrals in that sense, where somebody's picked up from those little traveler blogs that we don't have to pay to advertise on. Our next step is actually promoting.
Right. I met a couple who were from France who had pulled in there a couple of weeks ago, and through Liz's ability to speak French, we were able to, you know, ask them a few questions. And my first one was, how did you know about down here? They were doing a little barbecue. How did you end up coming here, you know? And they saw something on some media site, maybe it was our town site. So they took advantage of it. So that's kudos to me. I just wanted to know, if, you know, if that's bringing in people from France. I mean, heck, I mean, there's sure is going to be a lot of people going down the highway this year too. Secondly, due to the, the procurement of stuff, materials over at that marina, our regular boaters, I've been wondering, and you may have heard it too, Karen, who are regular boaters who have purchase slips, yearly. Are they in any way, maybe somehow can be or will be compensated? And that they're talking about possible, maybe for a cheaper price, due to the fact of this a little bit of loss of time. I'm just throwing it out there if there's been any thought or talk about it. So, or we're just going to continue as is.
I have a suggestion and then a raw response to that. So the suggestion is that our regular boaters made a private park out of that facility up until about 4 years ago and had run of that marina. They now have $1.3 million of investment in the last 2.5 years with very little impact to their taxes. The majority of boats start going into the lake in June. And we know that from seniors games. So we have our diehards that are in there right away, but often it's too cold for them to get out on the water and they wait for their holidays. So no, I have not. However, they can make a decision between purchasing a seasonal or a monthly slip.
Okay.
We have weekly, we have monthly, we have seasonal. So whatever is in their best interest, we honor the rate that makes the sense for the
going rate.
customer.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
I
That's
do
good to
not
know.
suggest council making an allowance or a discount, if you will, for the inconvenience, because the payoff for what is being received far outweighs 3 weeks or 4 weeks of a delay.
These were just, just a minor few questions that were put to me by not by many individuals either.
Mhm.
Okay, I've got that answered. Minor ball mentioned there. Do you know if they received their funding? That they were supposed to get. It was mentioned that they were seeking. Have it there highlighted in red. Back a ways. I was going to say, how would that influence us? It's on page Town Park Diamond, fencing at River Park, and then it says, if minor ball gets funding, improving infield at River Park. And that is page 13 of 27. I read the top.
Well, that's our Trillium grant.
Okay,
Yeah.
but
So
is
we
minor ball separate? Was that a separate?
no, same project. We partnered. We had council pass a resolution that minor ball in the town were approved to apply together.
Right.
And this is that application.
Okay, and while we're over there, then that takes care of that. Was also mentioned about maybe it's part of the group of I won't say group in case this is being taped. What about the fence ties? Do we seem to be having a problem there? It was mentioned. Is it going to be turning into a problem by maybe the same individuals who are turning over porta potties, type deal? Is that, have the ties over at that fence, have they been left alone since? Said we were going to keep an eye on that.
I can ask Scott and Emil, because they were the ones that pointed it out. They drag 5 days a week. So they've been watching it like hawks. They haven't shared that with me in the last little while, but it doesn't mean it's happening. But what I can do is find out for you.
Okay. And downtown logging. So the logging exhibition is not going in because the tick isn't up and running yet. And I saw that mentioned that they were going to do logging back in May. But obviously that wasn't going to transpire. Do you know anything about that, Ashley?
Yeah, our artifacts are being stored in TIC while the renovations are happening. And as soon as we're ready to go in and the renos are done, we're gonna set up that display,
Yeah,
as well as a gift shop.
okay, that's great. And one for me now, I didn't realize, since we were looking for more space, and I wasn't aware that the animal shelter was going to be utilized. Is that what I read from that? That the dog and cat building is no longer going to be utilized for that, and we're going to use that for storage?
So through the service delivery review, the community needs study and the the strategic plan, sorry, we have too many on the go. It was noted that the pet shelter being in the middle of your highest traffic tourist space was not ideal community planning.
A
So,
lot of barking and meowing going on during the
well,
night.
hi, welcome, launch your yacht, but here's a dog that's going to be euthanized tomorrow. It's not the way to
Yeah.
welcome people to your community. So again, though, limited funding and ways to transform those types of spaces, because those are supposed to be the municipality's responsibility.
Right,
We've been taking a look at the data for the number of pets that are captured and the fact that we pay to heat that year round
yeah,
for the odd delinquent, if you will. So what Ashley's been doing is keeping her eyes peeled with Louisa for museum and art gallery funding, which would allow us to transform that into a storage space. So Ashley was successful with another grant to make that happen. Nothing has occurred yet. Is what we're doing. Part of our shared services study with the city of Elliott Lake is looking towards more humane and more, I guess, more streamlined ways of approaching
yeah,
taking care of pets that are apprehended. And do we need to have one to arrest a dog every 6 months? That's not a great way to spend our money. It's cheaper for us to drive into Elliott Lake to the pet shelter. Or if we have to find a smaller compartment that we can build into another existing facility, we can do that. There's mobile trailers, there's things that can be done. And then this allows us to paint that facility and jazz it up, because it is looking a little bit haggard beside the nice boatyard and when you pull down to the museum.
okay. And then lastly, the permits for the downtown river enhancement there. You know, all the rock they put down first. Was there a blanket or anything that was put underneath that to prevent any growth coming back up, weeds or per se? Did you know if they put down a blanket down in that area?
I'm going to answer your question in two ways. Number one, that project was engineered and permitted by the Ministry of Natural Resources. We are well aware that there's a few complainers that repeatedly call the Ministry of Natural Resources saying that we are not in compliance with our permit. And we've had the M&R do a site visit.
Great, I'm glad to hear this.
And the contractors took the.
Can I just ask what you're talking about? I went out again. This
Sure.
has been going off and on.
Okay,
Go
sorry.
continue, Karen.
I'll just rewind so Paula's up to speed. So the project was engineered and we submitted a permit to the Ministry of Natural Resources for the project. And we have a couple of people that continuously call the Ministry of Natural Resources to complain about our waterfront project. To the point that we
Here?
had, yes,
Okay,
claiming that we are out
Yeah.
of, we're in breach of our permit. We must not have a permit to begin with, you name it. This has been, it's been, yeah, anyway.
So I'm not the only one who was approached then about this, and obviously might have been the same individual.
Could have been. So either way, the ministry, because a response was triggered to a waterway, sent 2 officials to investigate. The contractors went to the spot in question with the investigators,
Yeah.
pointed it out, and the investigators were happy and they were ready to leave. The contractors took it a step further and said, "You're not going anywhere. We are going to walk this entire shoreline and you are
Yeah.
going to look at this map and you are going to open that permit because we do not have time to be doing this more than once."
Yeah, okay.
And
that's-
hauled them from end to end down to the boat launch, checking every single rock.
I wish I would have had this information when I got singled out.
Yeah, so, yeah, so from the end, from the boat launch all the way to the bridge is our work area. We have that entire area right down to that screen, like the damn trash rack floaty thing. That is our workspace. We are allowed to be in there. The complaint also shared that we were moving bedrock changing the entire curvature of the river. And the investigators were politely informed that if you think we're doing that kind of work with that excavator, in 10 business days, you're dreaming.
I mean, and were you even, was it laid on you about the bass?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So the MNR is happy. And if the Ministry of Natural Resources is happy, we are happy.
And I'm happy.
So to answer your question though, about the curtain or the, pardon me, the cloth and the curtain, that
Yes.
yellow little highlighted mark you're going to notice along the work area is a turbidity screen. So what that
Yes.
does is prevents sediment from entering
Yeah.
the river and it settles and drops.
Yeah.
The other piece is the pathway is wrapped just like we did at the marina with that heavy
Okay,
beefy
perfect.
landscaping cloth.
Yeah.
So it makes this beautiful pillow and then we pour on top and things can't go anywhere. So then we don't ever have to worry about a sidewalk falling into the water body.
That's good.
The stone along the waterfront is washed. One of the components of the contract is that the blasted rock must be clean. Beamish confirmed that within their tender and signed off on it. It's spent 2 winters in the pit. It's been washed. It's even had Mother Nature wash it with snow. It's clean.
Good.
Yeah.
And now to end on a good note, how does one find out more about the memorial bench program that I didn't realize was already in effect? Do you go to the town hall and like, is there certain many words you can put on this? Is it a plaque that's on the bench? Can you tell me some more information?
Well, Councillor Dunbar, thank you for asking. So yes, we have printed copies off at the municipal office. We have it on the homepage of the website on the latest news. The forms are available there. We have 4 benches up for grabs on the west shore and 3 on the east at this time. I'm happy to announce on opening day, we sold 2
Yeah,
right away. We had people lined up with checks ready to secure them. The process is very simple, just to walk you both through it. You have your form. There's a cool little area where it's box lettering, where you fill it in with what you'd like your message to be. You have that many characters to work with. A
Okay.
plaque is going to be produced, attached to the bench for the entire life cycle of the benches. And these are made of that beautiful recycled plastic to look like cedar and
Oh, yeah.
wrought iron, heavy duty, beefy frames, just like we approved in our memorial bench policy. They're going to last 30, 40, 50 years.
okay.
So those people, when they invest in it, it's a really nice, it's a good way to spend your money.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's great.
How much are they?
They are $13.50 plus HST. And that gets you an installation and a bench built, brought to the site and a follow-up email, and you can go and take a picture with your family.
And your name immortalized for 30 years.
Yep, or anybody. It can even be for a group. So what we did also was share the news with Leroy, JI,
yeah.
AJ bus lines, some of our major employers, the family health team, like those kinds of organizations that might have a duty to want to make a donation,
Yeah.
even for taxation purposes, because they'll get a receipt from town hall.
And I take it that 1350 isn't 1350, it's 1,350, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's 2 other pieces too, is we've also shared this to make it more accessible with Club 270. So we sent the information to Lois and she's going to bring it to that group.
Okay.
Because not everybody's on social media. I know most of them are, but it's just nice to have a piece of paper to read on your own time. And then the last piece with this, the benches are built and ready to go. So we're also pumped about that. They're all assembled and they're sitting in the arena on our
Yeah.
ice surface, ready to rock. So as soon as the cement, or pardon me, the contractors say that we can drill and install, then we're going to start putting them in once they're off site. I think it's going to pop. It's going to look cute.
Oh, I think so. Thanks, Karen, for the information.
For
I
sure.
was thinking, we'll move on to 7.2.
Sure. Okay. So when we created the fee for the gazebos, I had in my head, and I'm going to put my neck out here, I was picturing weddings, like party rental vans, the whole hoopla set up. And I completely dropped the ball with smaller people that might just want to get together, maybe a handful of family members, or perhaps if we have new Canadians or people that don't know a lot of folks and still want to use an outdoor venue, creating another category so we can capture additional revenue and also create another option for people that may not be able to afford $200. So it then is going to prevent somebody from just skipping in, showing up, and maybe getting into an altercation with a family that's using the beach or is in the gazebo, and then they want to use it for an hour, because that person then will have paid for it and will have a letter from the clerk's office when they get their marriage license to
Yeah.
say that this is our site to use from 12 until 1:30 or
it is.
whatever, just to help, because we wouldn't want to ruin anybody's day either.
Yeah. No, I definitely like the idea.
And it's a fun one. So I was thinking when they're at the front desk.
Does that stop if there's no one utilizing the area? Does that stop, let's say I was getting married tomorrow, myself and my wife going down and having some pictures taken in front of the beach?
Not at all.
No?
No,
Okay.
this is for the purpose of the ceremony,
Yeah,
to give people that space to celebrate their day.
perfect.
And then it allows the clerk's department to have 2 price points. Would you prefer this or this?
Yeah.
Instead of this is all we have.
Well, you know, and that, oh, gosh. Leave it to someone. I mean, like you said, someone could have very well purchased their license to go and have it, and you still wind up with a spoiler coming up or showing up, and just, you know, just the, you know, the backlash and just having to go through it, all that drama just for nothing. At least they have their piece of paper.
Mhm. And for us, $35 or $70 or whatever is better than nothing.
Oh, absolutely. No. I mean, I see it like, I think you showed, you said here, it's higher up in other places. It's a few more dollars than some of the other existing
Mhm.
venues out there. Yeah, so Paula, we got a recommendation here to bring that forward to council. So,
Yeah, I can move it.
okay, moved by Paula and seconded by myself that we bring your recommendation of the Community Service Committee recognizes an additional revenue source that supports the Blind River Service Delivery Review, as well as encourages a larger number of users, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Wedding fee at both Sellers Park and the Marine Park. And I guess we'll have to vote on that.
In favor.
That's carried. Okay, so any more on 7.2? Any questions, Paula? Okay, Ashley? No, you're good? Correspondence, obviously there isn't any. I didn't see any. Addendum, didn't see addendum. Here we go with new business. I'll open the floor. I don't have any myself today, but Karen, Paula, go ahead, Karen.
I do. I'm not sure if this is the appropriate platform, but I'd like to talk about it if you're open, because we are community services. So
Yeah.
we have 2 other major community services that we pay a fortune for, one being Algoma Public Health and one being ADSAB.
Oh, big time.
My question is, the 10% levy increase for Algoma Public Health was for the purpose of recruitment for 10 to 15 new employees for Algoma Public Health.
For recruitment?
That was said at the time we passed the budget, that the purpose of that money was to recruit new staff for Algoma Public Health.
That would be videotaped, right?
It should be.
Yeah.
We're halfway through the year. If those staff have not been hired, and what I mean by that is growth. So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if 10 have retired and 10 have started. Growth for those positions, Blind River should be invoicing that service provider for the increase that it asked for, that 10%. So if they have hired 5 out of the 10 that was committed, then
Yeah.
why are we not clawing our money back? Your
Mhm.
department heads are working their tails off
Yeah,
to turn straw into gold for you and for this municipality. And it is really frustrating
oh, yeah.
watching
We
these
can,
things happen around us.
we can use every penny. I understand that. And I wasn't big on that. Anyway, I'm not gonna go into that tonight.
So it's not my, I don't think it's my place. I could be corrected, and I'm willing to put my, if this is a hand tap for Karen, I'll take it. But I don't know what other forum to talk about it in. And
Yeah.
also the next steps, like, does this committee say the committee would like to direct or have council direct Blind River's representative to bring that information back to council? But these are serious, that's a big chunk of cash. And that is the difference between perhaps a new roof for a facility or new accessible doors or something. And my
Yeah.
fear is if it's not looked at, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe they have hired it, maybe I am, I don't know, but I haven't seen it and I don't know where they're gonna live because there's nowhere to buy a house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the question itself, seeking information in that point is fantastic. I support that, but I'm sure they're going to have an answer for us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because I don't know that we have a whole lot to say in how much we actually have to pay them. Sally is on that board, I believe. We can bring it up to her and have her discuss it, because it's not only, it wouldn't only be in Blind River, it would be in our whole area, which is, who knows, that could be Sault Ste. Marie or whatever, like, you know what I mean? Our Algoma Public Health is,
Yeah, but would that not maybe be dealt with? I mean, when you're talking about something like that, corporate services, could something like that?
possibly,
Because,
we could bring it up there. We could,
Yeah.
yeah. I think,
yeah, I do, feel the need that we shouldn't be
and we just had that
Just
meeting this week, actually.
throwing money out there
Mhm.
for,
Mm-hmm. It's like they have carte blanche though, eh? Like they pretty much tell us how much we owe,
Well,
and we have to.
well, but we can say no. We can say no.
Mm,
And the comment was, this is for recruitment. And I remember this day vividly because I wrote it down. I wish I would have written the date though.
Yeah.
They'll pay us back what they don't use if they don't hire.
really?
Was
Okay.
around, it was something like that. It was,
Okay.
so
So
all
we're
I'm asking
seeking-
for,
Yeah,
Is the same
we're
level-
seeking to see if there's anything left.
we're seeking information because it should be
Yeah.
quite simple without stating names. I don't care about who it is,
Mhm.
but it would be great to see have hired and retained 7 new bodies,
Mhm.
5 have retired. That means we've gained 2. Well,
Yeah.
the commitment was 10 to 15.
Mhm.
So
Well, they
Where's
should
the
have to be
best?
transparent, just like we have to be, right?
yeah,
Well,
exactly.
Mhm.
Totally.
Yeah.
So thank you for listening to me because I've been thinking about this and it's been halfway through the year. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, Paula, that you just had the meeting because you'll be really complete with the halfway through the year.
Mhm.
And then in July is a great time to be asking questions before you start next year's budget
Right,
and then ask for some answers.
right, true.
I don't know, but I have a funny feeling next year's budget is going to be coming along a lot sooner than what we thought, eh? Like, I know it can't transpire till after the elections, or can it?
I'm not sure. I'm sure they can start looking into it, probably.
Mhm.
The
We don't make
elections are-
decisions.
the
We could
elections are
make
in
decisions,
October,
but.
Then
Mhm.
November, December.
Yeah.
Pass it in July. So again, thank you.
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay,
Was
well,
those some of the questions you had for me? Okay.
Yep.
Paula, new business? I did see your hand, no?
Oh, I was just gonna say, Jim, you had asked me about the dock at Lozon.
Oh, yes?
So it looks fine now. Did you guys go down and do something with that dock? Because I know Jim was commenting
No.
about,
Seeking information.
well, you made a comment,
Yeah.
right? But
I sent an email out to an individual over at the town hall and they said they'd take care of it.
It looks like it
Good
has
job.
been, I guess, because
Yeah.
I drove down there the other night and it seems to be well anchored wherever it is. I mean,
Yeah.
I suppose that could change if the waves get really big.
It
Yeah,
was,
who
it was
knows?
too low in the water. It was too low in the water and the water came up a couple inches and it floated off the decking.
Yeah,
And thank God the wind blew it back into the shore, so.
yeah, yeah.
but,
And that was happening to docks around the lake, so
Mhm.
Yeah,
it was crazy. That crazy wind. Ashley, you're right.
yeah, actually, yeah.
So
Okay.
Public Works gets that gold star. They went out there.
Yes, they do, they do.
Okay, okay,
Well,
very
you know,
good, guys.
Yeah, fantastic job that's going on around town right now. And I mean, you have to have your head stuck in the sand right now and be a very negative person to not see all the wonderful beautification that's going on. And what they don't see is all you
Mhm.
people. And I'm going to say you people,
Well, because I was
you
gonna say
know,
that you,
who are behind the scenes doing all this work.
well, exactly. And what do you hear? Oh, there's no fireworks for July 1st. Oh, what's the town doing for July 1st? Like, there's so many like negative comments about that or about community days. Look at community days. They're all complaining about that. Nobody's signed up for the damn floats for the parade. So it might not go. So, oh,
I have an update for you on that actually. So after summer threatening
Mhm.
people, she's up to 25 floats.
okay, good.
So-
Because I
Okay.
figured that. I was figuring, because I even asked Sally, like, did you tell her that we have a float? Because I mean, maybe we didn't tell her,
Mhm.
but we had told her. But I figured that's the way they are in Blind River. It's always last minute or, that sort of thing. It's that, I don't know how they expect us to do anything. No matter what event, if they're selling tickets, it's always the last week or something. How can you run an event when you
Mhm.
don't know if there's going to be people there? Like they just don't get it. And
Yeah.
it's frustrating. And you know what? So be it. Look around the town and see what's being done instead of just crab. And there's a lot of people that do stand up for us as well, that say,
Yes,
it's not
yeah.
up to the town. Like, I even saw one comment, I'm really disappointed in the mayor. What the heck do they want the mayor to do? Like, oh my gosh. Anyways, that's just my rant.
So I have some ammo for you if you'd like. So if it helps you, there's a couple of details. The administration all knows this, but community days, talking to Paulette and Scott and Emil about how it used to run. And I know you both know this, but it was community groups coming together to make community days. And then it evolved into this thing where one staff member for the town was in charge of that mega event,
Mhm,
burning them out. And then some festival students that were also treated like garbage. And at the end of it, the feedback 100% of the time was it was never good enough. The rides were never good enough. The drinks were too expensive. And why
Mhm.
didn't we get this band or this? What? Anyway,
mhm,
never way to go. Thanks for
Yeah.
working 80 hours.
mhm.
Sorry about your sunburn.
Yeah.
Sorry you gave up your week. Like, where's that?
Well, I was on that first year. They had all us
Yeah,
out there working over
yeah.
at the beer gardens. Yeah.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
then we had to go another route because we didn't have community partners to sling beer to make
Yes.
That's right.
$20,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
We had to contract a beer
Yeah.
Mhm.
from
Mhm.
Toronto
Yeah.
to serve beer in Blind River because we could not find anybody in Algoma to run our beer tent.
Yeah.
You would think a group. Now, Karen, you tell me this. I'm just should maybe the town have someone like to how do I say this? Someone who would be talking to these individual groups. So you would think one group would take on a beer garden because I mean it's a substantial amount. It's kind of like the men's clothing,
No,
something
you know
to
what the
that
difference
effect.
is, Jim? No,
What's
you know what
that?
the difference is? It's because the men's closing, it's the curling club that's taking on the liability. When you're
Oh,
talking
okay.
about a beer gardens, so that liability is on whoever is doing that. That's
Right.
where it comes in. The insurance, if somebody leaves there and gets in an accident or something, that's the liability. And that's, I think, part of why the group that was doing it did pull out of it, because it just got to be so much red tape to run something like that.
Well, they didn't pull out of it. Oh, no, you're talking
Yeah, they
about
did.
the
Yes, they
Richelieu.
did.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Back
Yes.
to what Karen said, we hired an
Yes.
establishment
Yes.
to take care of that. And
But
that's
I mean-
something I'm going to put a bug in your ear now. Try and have those figures. If you run them down somehow or some way, our last community days that we did with the beer garden when we purchased that,
Mhm.
I never ever did see those, the amount we paid out. And I think we were supposed to establish some sort of well, we were gonna recoup something ourselves, but no one knew, like, that contract, maybe even the contract,
Right.
that we had with them.
Yeah, I think we had a report. We were given
Yeah.
like profits and stuff like that, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't a large sum. I
No.
think a few $1,000s because it's off the, it wasn't off the top. It was after all of their expenses were paid,
Yeah.
all of their
Okay.
staffing, all of their hotels, then the
Mhm.
pot was
And
split.
it was a
And
percentage.
that's
Yeah.
including security. They had security there too.
Not this. So the beer garden was ran by Earnibus, which was its own entity, and then we
Right.
paid for Norpro on top of it.
That's right.
We purchased the Norpro.
Oh, yes.
Mhm,
And we also had to have the insurance policy
mhm.
because Earnibus was not going into this alone.
Oh, so there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but my point for you, Paula, was Earnibus was going to pay people $25 cash and pay them on the spot to sling beer, and did not get not one bite.
Hmm.
So we're not wedding planners. We're
No,
not
no.
party planners. We are a municipality. Yes,
Mhm.
festivals and events are important, but the community can rise and create these things and we can support them, just
And
like
that's
the
what-
parade, just like
exactly,
downtown.
exactly.
just
And
like-
that's what my answer always is. You know what? We're more than happy to support anything you guys want to do,
Yep.
but it has to come from there, you know, like.
Yep. The merchants want signs. You helped pay for billboards. They
Mhm.
want a downtown event to close things off.
We did it.
Council's right there.
Yeah.
You've not
Mhm.
said no to a thing. That
Oh,
people want
apparently,
to facilitate.
apparently we have. I just saw a post today about a certain pizza place that was, the town told them they couldn't do what they wanted to do.
You're right. They could not host a
Wah,
beer
wah.
garden in a construction site.
Yeah, you know what? Well, no
That was
comment.
the.
Yeah, no
Anywho,
comment there, Counselor.
Yeah.
Lisa, are you having fun with these minutes? Lisa, are you having fun with these? But-
Okay, you know what? I think I'm going to sum this up then.
No, but there, you know what? It's just maddening when you see the negative comments, because you know what? The town is going over and above. The town looks wonderful, and we hear lots of people saying that, how beautiful it looks. And and you know, all the work is being appreciated, but you always get those little negative ninnies that are always, you know, around there and have lots to say, and it's a real shame. It's maddening.
Well, on that note, the negative ninnies, we're going to adjourn here at 4:36, and I want to thank you again for everyone being here.
Okay, sorry about that, guys, that I was late. Sorry about that.
No problem. Paula.
Okay. See you later. Have a great day. Oh, whoa, what?
Yeah.
Are we okay to not have July? And if something comes up,
Oh, that's right.
Mhm.
Paula, I mean, I'm the chair, so they're saying if something major comes up, okay, if
Mhm.
something major was to come up, I'm willing to bow out of next month's meeting.
As long as
Um,
there is nothing that comes up,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, something comes up, and that doesn't stop Paula, myself, or Jennifer bringing something forward, maybe
Mhm.
to be dealt
Mhm.
with.
If
So,
there's something. we
but
feel-
as it goes, as it is, as an understanding that we have now, the chair of community service would like to, what's the word I'm looking for, Karen?
just suspend meetings.
Suspend July's meeting.
Okay, sure, no problem.
And now officially, you want to vote on that? No. This is not a this is only, this is just, it's not a recommendation.
Mhm.
It's something that the chair is, I think I'm told, is entitled he can do. So unless something comes up,
Right.
everyone have a great July and have a
Okay.
nice summer, and
All right. We'll
keep your
see you
eyes on those ninnies.
I have a quick comment. If anyone asks what there is for children to do during community days, there is the teddy bear picnic. That is
Right.
part of community
July
days.
7th.
Yes, we are kickstarting the community days event with the children's program.
Right, and actually, and they were talking about a barbecue in CPS Christian Horizons, they're having a barbecue as well.
Mhm.
So we'll have, and I see that's been put out there as well. So I mean, there is lots of stuff going on. People just, we'll just have to
You-
look and see what's on the.
And officially, Louisa, we have adjourned. We adjourned at 4:37. And we're just having a little conversation here.
Yep, put your
Okay.
pen down.